Good Friday evening. How is everyone? And what can I tell you? I'm the dandy highwayman whom you're too scared to mention. I spent my cash on looking flash and grabbing your attention. And I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful evening. I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. Welcome to Friday. We've got we've got a fun Friday lineup coming here. We got Gamma World at 9:00. You don't want to miss that. Gamma World's happening. I'm pretty excited about that. I did half of the thing. I crawled under the table here and I dug into the guts of the streaming PC and I put memory in it and it made it better. Look at this. Look, I want to show you guys this. This is I'm really happy about this. I can do a full confetti roll, which is what I call this now. I can do a full confetti roll of dice and it doesn't choke or stutter. See how snappy that was? I thought that was great. So, just a little bit of memory. And I went from 16 gigs to 48 gigs. And I have a processor. I have a new CPU. Well, new. It's based on the Intel 6th gen tech or 4th gen, something like that. Sandy Bridge. Sitting on the shelf over yonder, waiting to be popped in. That requires BIOS updates and a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't know if been done to my streaming PC down here. And I put the RAM in at like 3:00 today, and it just like I had to like lie on my stomach under my desk to do it. Why didn't I just unplug it and pull it out? Because that would have ended today's production. I honestly don't know that I could have gotten everything back together for a live stream to do that because of the funky cooler that's on it, and I would have had to have found thermal paste and just so many things that could have potentially gone haywire. And probably this weekend, like Sunday night or something, I'll take the computer and I'll put the new chip in it, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better. The last one or possibly two upgrades to happen to the machine are I need a new video card for it. So let me kind of explain what's going on here. When I stream to you guys, the computer nowadays, the computer is doing a lot of work. Every piece of it is doing work. It's not just a matter of, you turn the computer on and the CPU is chugging away and it needs some programs for memory. Everything kind of works more closely in symbiosis. Web browser developers and application developers look over at the video card and say, hey, can that thing take some of the burden of rendering what's on screen? And if you're not using your video card for video games, that's a good use for it, because it makes you've basically got an extra unit of computing power sitting in your computer. And if all you're doing is working in flat space, you're not playing Atomic Heart, you're not playing Doom Eternal, you're not playing Cyberpunk 2077. You have an entire micro supercomputer sitting in your machine that's doing nothing. If you don't have that, everything relies on the CPU and on the RAM. And it can make for a slightly uneven experience. So what I would like to do is get an inexpensive GPU, graphics processing unit, video card to pop into this machine. Because right now it's just got a very, very low power GT 1030 in it, which were fine cards if back in 2019, 2018, you were doing the whole, I'm going to buy a 4th gen Dell Optiplex and flip it as a gaming machine by throwing in an SSD and a low-powered video card, and then it can play Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto 5, Rocket League, and League of Legends, and run other games at low settings. So the otherwise it's generally it's not a great card, and it certainly doesn't have the ability to handle a lot of computing tasks beyond just displaying stuff. So I don't want a fancy like a GTX 4090 or something, or RTX 4090 rather, I should say. Just like a 1060 or 1070 or 1080 I can plug in there. But that brings us to another issue, and that is the way HP designed these computers. These computers, this is what's called a workstation. It runs Windows. It does the thing. But its architecture is built around certain specific productivity-oriented tasks. And HP made some of these workstations that had powerful GPUs in them, and they sold them to laboratories and video game developers and so on and etc. Mine came from a call center. Its video card was crap. But because it was aimed at that market, the power supply in the machine doesn't have the extra connections to power a video card. So, need a new video card, or want a new video card, will definitely need a new power supply for it. And as I said, it's an HP workstation, so it's not exactly a normal, regular power supply that it needs. So that's like the upgrade news. But I have the RAM. We can get the nice die rolls here, and I did increase the die size for you folks. So, and I hope that looks good. I hope you think that looks good, because I think it looks pretty darn keen. Let's do a percentile die roll. There we go. A 60. I don't miss those days at all, John Walker. Luther, I am so sorry about your foot. It does look good, and it is easy to read. In fact, players, I think, can also increase their dice sizes. I thought about like increasing the window size, which this is actually a function of OBS. I know you guys can't currently see that, but I thought about increasing the window size and giving the dice more room to roam, and it would make them bigger. So if we do a confetti roll with, somebody's in the die roller. So there's a confetti roll. You can see how that might kind of get in the way a little bit, I'm sure. So we perhaps won't have die size quite that large. I think we can keep it up in the corner, right? Right. Well, now you know. Let's throw a D12 there, see how that looks. Come on. Boop. See? Nice and clear. Yeah, the geometries do get wonky. Would not work if you were playing orcs in Warhammer 40K, right? So let's do a champions energy blast from a 400 point. Let me do this. I'm having fun. Yeah, let's do a champions energy blast. That's a bunch. 53 points. And we'll just sweep those out of there. But anyway, other than playing with the computer today, I did not get stuff done, things I intended to do. I have a video. I hope I have time to do it this week. I'm going to talk a little bit in a short video. It's going to be a newsy video because it went under people's radar, but it's about tunnels and trolls. If you guys played the old Tunnels and Trolls game from Flying Buffalo. We've read some Flying Buffalo books here. We did a Let's Read on the Grimtooth's Traps once upon a time. And speaking of deep dives, I want to I want to remind you guys, I haven't forgotten. I was going to put this like somewhere where you guys could see it, but I wasn't kidding when I said this thing is the size of a car battery. So I think starting next week, we're going to deep dive Old School Essentials. So we're going to take a look at that on Monday and Tuesday and possibly Friday as Preamble-Ramble. If I ever get my hands on a set of Tunnels and Trolls, I'll deep dive. I've owned some Tunnels and Trolls, but I've always had to sell them on when the time came along. But yeah, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, Old School Essentials, and we're gonna do a deep dive on this. I don't know why. One thing I'll just tell you off the back, I don't know why the company bothered with a box. You're not taking this anywhere. All right. This weighs as much as 8 AD&D books. Well, that'll teach you to mute me. Elliot Vernon. So, yeah, the deep dive into Old School Essentials is coming next week. And, of course, next week we will continue on with our Let's Play of Keep on the Borderlands that we're doing in the Tuesday night AD&D game. Now, some people might be curious to know, is this for a particular reason? Am I doing this as part of the ongoing educational aspect of the show? And the answer is no, we're playing it for fun, but I will answer your questions if you've got them. You know, I think a lot of people kind of thought, oh, it's a one-off. It's just a one-off that you're doing, and it's not. It really isn't. There was a near TPK, and I saw an opportunity, and one player said, his was the only surviving character at second or third level. I think it was Mark actually. Mark reached out to me and said, "Do you want me to just create a first level character?" And I thought about it, and I said, "You know what? Yes, I do." Yes, I do. So, So that's what we're doing. We're playing Keep on the Borderlands, and it is part of my Greyhawk campaign world. So you won't miss out on that. Deadly Dungeon Master says the OSE rules tome is portable. The box is modular, and for the game tip. Well, there you go. Ask and you'll find out. And that goes to what I'm saying. You know, I have the smartest audience. Of all the audiences of 5 nights a week, live streamed, old school, original and first edition AD&D YouTube shows, you guys are the smartest audience. That's an objective truth. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So we'll get into that. Last night we had Heidi Gygax and Eric Garland were here, and we had a lot of fun on that show. Nothing is bad. Two-hit armor class 0 is fine as long as dungeon masters use it properly, and that is a tool for determining monsters hitting armor class 0 in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It was never intended to be used by characters, and it got picked up on because it was prevalent in basic, and then made a thing in 2E. And when I came back to D&D as 3E was rolling in, so many BNGs were bitching about, I'm not going back to Thaco. You can't make me go back to Thaco. Ascending armor class just makes sense. And I was like, whoa, I never used it, buddy. I have a table. I have a chart. I can just glance over at the chart and make a call right then. I don't have to do any math. Ascending, descending, sideways, at an angle, at a logarithm, do the cube root. I don't have to worry about it. I look in one place on a chart, and I know for the rest of the session, that's the number. Might go up by 1, might go down by 1, or maybe 2. But the number's right there, and it's always right there. Alan Canning, good to see you. That's right, Bob. Tables rule, Thaco drools. Darn tooting. So anyway, yeah, Heidi and Eric were over last night, and we drank champagne and we toasted the success of Tomb of the Dundle Chief, and I'm excited for them and what they've got, you know, in the pipeline. And we talked about a lot of things, even after you kids went to bed. You know, just a little NDA kind of chat. I can't really get into it, but there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. Speaking of cool stuff that's coming down the pipeline, so it's Friday night, and then at 9:00, of course, we're going to be playing some Gemma World. Monday, of course, we start the deep dive on OSE. Tuesday, more OSE, but then at 9:00, first edition AD&D. Wednesday, we'll have to see if Kyle's back Wednesday. He's still dealing with a bit of a cough, and he's got a lot on his plate at home. So for those of you who feel so compelled, send some positive energy Kyle's way. And let me tell you what, never be afraid. If you're going to super chat, and I'm serious, I'm not saying, yeah, I draw me a super chat, guys. If you're going to super chat, if you put in the super chat, this is for Kyle, I promise you, he'll get it. It will go to him, all of it entirely. So if you ever super chat while Kyle's on, and you're like, get yourself a good beer, Kyle. You know, take the kids out for ice cream, Kyle. If you super chat, I promise, super chat to Kyle, I promise 100% of the super chat after Google takes their 30% will go to him. So fear not. And so we'll have to see if he can play on Wednesday, if he can come out and play. Thursday night, because Thursday night's all right for Delvin. Thursday night, David S. LaForce, Diesel LaForce, one of the preeminent artists from the great era of Dungeons and Dragons, the TSR years, the 70s and 80s, David S. LaForce will be on the show. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. He's off having fun at NTRPG right now, and I can't say as I blame him. But he'll be here on Thursday, and hopefully he can give us a good chunk of time, and we can talk to him about TSR history. And you guys, of course, you guys will want to ask questions. So get here early, get a seat close to the stage so you don't have to stand up and yell, you know, because I'm going to be honest, the ones way in the back, some of them, the little scooter pads on the bottom have worn off, and they make a hell of a lot of noise when you sit in. So sit up close to the front and be ready to be amazed and be listening to David S. LaForce as he talks to us about the creative impulse, about the creation of art, about his history before TSR, his history with TSR, his history after TSR, what he's working on now, and what he's got planned for the future. You don't want to miss it, guys. You don't want to miss that one. And then I have some other guests lined up throughout the summer, but I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil. It's going to be a surprise. You'll enjoy it more. Look, calm down. Calm down. You'll enjoy it more when I surprise you with it. You want me to just tell you right now? But anyway, so that's all happening next week. And then, of course, on the Friday, we'll continue looking at OSE if we need to. And on Friday at 9:00 next week, well, we'll be right back here playing more Gamma World. Unless there's a TPK and a player revolt tonight. But, we'll just have to see. Let's talk about the sponsor of tonight's show. Tonight's show is brought to you by, of course, our friends at Hellebarde Games. And you know what? If you don't know about them, if you've never heard this little missive before, Hellebarde makes the kind of adventures that they would like to play, whether it's for Castles and Crusades 5th edition or the OSR. Old school adventure is in play at the table with Hellebarde Games. Now you can find them on DriveThruRPG, or you can find them on their website, hellebardegames.com. They are linked in the description of the video. You can check them out. And right now, they are clearing out their stock of print 5th edition materials. That's 10 modules covering everything from a swamp full of mystery and lizard men to a desert caravan full of adventure locales. Use the discount code 5EOOP at checkout on their website to receive 50% off the in-print copies of those 5E modules. And guys, as I said in the lead up to this, it's old school, okay? You got to make a couple of adjustments here and there. Maybe put yourself a sticky note in there, couple sheets of note paper in there, and you've got old school AD&D, Castles and Crusades, OD&D-esque modules. Don't pass up on this sale, because there's great stuff from Hellebarde Games. Let's see. Dave LaForce worked on the maps for B2, Q1, and A1. That's right. That's right, Alan. And I am genuinely looking forward to having him on. Dave is a very nice fellow. He drew. Have I shown you guys, or have you seen online like before? Have you seen the artwork, the like custom artwork that Dave LaForce put in 2 of my AD&D books? Because it's pretty cool. His policy at his signing table is, if you have a hardback book, you get a drawing, not just an autograph, an actual drawing. And that is so So cool. And so I took, in 2018, when I went to GaryCon, I took my Dungeon Master's Guide, and he did a gorgeous piece. Now, you've seen his work in the Dungeon Master's Guide. He's got that pirate's treasure chest sitting in the sand, and there's a sword stuck in it, and there's a skull in front of it. He reimagined that and drew it in gold and black ink in the front cover of my Dungeon Master's Guide. I will treasure it always. And when I brought him my deities and demigods this year, he graced it with a dragon. So that's just some of the cool stuff that he does. Okay, for the fans, for us. So I'm thinking I'm gonna reach out. The producer has entered the studio. You should see her tail in the camera shot any minute now. Nope, she's walking around. She's low slung right now, but I cannot. Don't come back to me and say, but you said you guaranteed this. If I come back to you and say, hey, this isn't going to happen. So I don't know that I can make this happen, but I am going to ask. I'm going to ask if Jeff Easley would consider coming on the show, and some other artists and other creators. But Jeff is first and foremost in that list. But anyway, so yeah, all that, maybe I could get Larry Elmore to come on the show. Who knows? Who knows? But we got a lot of fun guests that I want to get lined up on the show. Before then, oh boy, do I have some work to do. Who out there, how many people, which one of you, can I get a show of hands? Someone please tell me, are you informed about the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention? The GWOC, as we call it colloquially. Do you need information on that? Do you want to know what that's about? Do you want to know what's going on? Do you want the 411? Do you need it precise? Do you need a go-to on the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention? Let me know, chat. Let me know if you guys do over here, and I will let you know what it's all about. Deadly Dungeon Master is raising his hand. He needs to know. He needs the information. Which one of you didn't tell him? Who left Deadly Dungeon Master out to dry? Once again, all right. I'll fix your mistake, chat, this time. Deadly Dungeon Master. We have a little convention. It's a virtual convention. It is a virtual gaming convention. You can play at the safety and comfort of your own computer. No special software is required. You don't have to install anything. You just use Discord. You sign up on warhorn.net. Go to warhorn.net and look up Great Underground Online Gaming Convention 2, Roman numeral II. And when you find it, register. And make sure that when it comes to credit card and payment forms, you don't have any to hand, because it's free. It is 100% free. Well, you might say to yourself, a thing is worth what you pay for it. And I think that's a very cynical attitude. But let me tell you what. This free convention is sponsored by Frog God Games and by Hellebard Games. They are providing a ton of free, basically swag, door gifts for you guys. Convention swag, PDFs, free adventures, all kinds of cool stuff. We have we have merch. We have con merch. Go to Teespring and look up the Dungeon Minister, and look at all the con merch we have. There is a cash prize first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons tournament being run by Doomsword Deathmaster. We're having giveaways. Jack Photon is the other of the four sponsors of this. Jack has created some gorgeous art prints and has created some amazing fan creation books that look just like they came out of Random House for TSR's production and sale. So, you know, this free convention. Oh, it's a free online convention. All the amenities of an IRL convention. We have merch. Guess what? We have an artist row. That's right. Tracy Lesh, who he's a friend of mine, and he's an amazing artist. And if you don't know who Tracy Lesh is, did you guys see Stranger Things? Yeah, you saw Stranger Things. The Mind Flayer. Tracy created that visual. Think about that for a second. He did the art for, it came from the Late Late Show, a bunch of art in Supplement to Blackmore, tons of art in The Dragon, all of the art for the unpublished version of Tomb of Horrors, which you got to get this, big boy right here. Dungeons and Dragons Art and Arcana, to get the folio version with Tracy's art in it. It's a rare thing. Tracy's going to be here. We're going to do a live streamed Artist Alley, and you'll be able to buy signed prints and merch from Tracy. All right. We have all of the cool stuff that you could want from a convention. Sign up to run a game. Sign up to be in games that are being run. So I hope that answers your question. I sincerely hope that answers your question, because that is coming up very soon. That is let's see. Got to look at this here. Yeah, that's the 22nd to the 25th of this month. The 22nd to the 25th. And yeah, I hope, Deadly Dungeon Master, you'll sign up. Speaking of people with cool names, like me, the Dungeon Delver, Deadly Dungeon Master, Doomsword Death Master. There's a young lad who's... He's a great guy. His name is the Vile Necromancer on YouTube. That's not his name. If he wants to share his real name with you, then he'll do so on his channel. He's got a small following. I would like it very much. Now, I gain nothing from this, except I firmly believe here on YouTube, in this space of old school Dungeons and Dragoneers around here. Dungeons and Dragons ears. Dungeons and Dragoners. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragoners. I firmly believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. So take a minute. Take 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 1 minute. 30 seconds. 45 seconds. 50, 52. 52 seconds, and that's my final offer. To look up the Vile Necromancer on YouTube and subscribe to his channel. I need to think about this for a minute. Take a moment to subscribe to his channel the Vile Necromancer here on YouTube, please do that. All right. You might look at it and say, I mean, he doesn't have any. The material he's got, it is so full of enthusiasm. And I got to tell you something. You go all the way back. Go to my channel and just scroll down through the 650 videos I have and look at videos from 2014 when I started doing this. Now, I've never, ever made any pretense that this is anything other than my secret tree house in the neighborhood, and that, you know, we have a canon string that we talk to each other about D&D over. All right. I've never held myself up as a paragon of professionalism. If I'm upset, it's all out there. The videos from like January to now, the standalone news videos, you're getting take number like 87 on those, because I and ah all the way through them, and think about how great some of them are not. The point is, here is a guy, all right? Here is a guy who is very, 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 very enthusiastic about first edition AD&D. And I'll tell you something, and I don't mean this by way of insult. I have shoes older than this young man. I do. Guys, if you want to see OD&D and AD&D continue beyond just what you do at your table, if you want to go to a con and meet strangers who are actually playing AD&D, the way forward is to not go, well, I got mine, I'm not worried about it. This kid, and I don't mean that by way of insult, with all of his youth and all of his energy, if this young man can go out there in his youth and be pulled in and entranced by a game that was made literally 3 generations ago, and get out on YouTube and sing its praises, he deserves your support. He's only gonna make good content if he sees the support for it. Please subscribe to Vile Necromancer's channel. It is good stuff, and it's worth your time, and it's only going to get better. All right? It's only going to get better. And I am entirely certain he would not hate to wake up tomorrow morning and see that he's got 20, 30, 40, 50 new subs. Whenever you're watching this, a year from now, March of 2027, whenever you're watching this, Kevin Oliphants. Kevin, I'm here 5 nights a week. Anytime you're at work and you need something to listen to, Kevin, tune in 8 Eastern, unless it's Wednesdays. Then it's usually 9. Sometimes I'll dip in here a little early. Like last week we had Arrow on, but guess what? His window was 7 o'clock Eastern. So that's when we did it. When Kyle's here, I mean, I can't ask Kyle to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to live stream with us. So we do it at 9 o'clock Eastern. Gives him a little time, spend with the kids, get some breakfast. Now, Deadly Dungeon Master, you bring up an interesting question. We have a while to talk about this because this is the Friday Preamble-Ramble before we get into Gamma World. But I'm actually this merits. By the way, that's a nice PFP you've got there. Entrancing is a good description of AD&D and older editions. There is something much headier about those games. Nostalgia, maybe. Maybe there's a little magic in the rules. I love AD&D, not out of any sense of nostalgia. Nostalgia conjures up images of those themed diners in the 1990s that were made to look like 50s diners. You know, and you'd have a usual crowd of boomers showing up in leather jackets and on, you know, their meticulously maintained Harleys or you know, a rented 55 Chevy Bel Air, and you know, with a non-functional jukebox because they're just piping in a loop of 50s rock and roll. That's what springs to my mind when I hear nostalgia. It's not about that. Let me tell you something. AD&D is where the black magic lives. AD&D is Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. All right. It borrows from many different sources and blends them together in a way that isn't always perfect, but it is always great. It's the version of AD&D that has drow torture parlors and drugs and demons and devils and the naked chicks in the books. It's the version of D&D that's written in High Gygaxian. It's the version of D&D that dares you to take a bite of the apple and see eternity. It's the version of D&D where Gary wasn't afraid to speak to us like grown-ups and tell us that half-orcs are fecund and send us diving for the dictionary so we could look up what fecund meant. AD&D is where the black magic is and will be forever. And that is why I love it so much. There is a vibe, there is a verve, there is a groove in AD&D that you find nowhere else. And I'm sorry, if you're one of those people that are like, well, you can just use the books, but use better rules, you're missing the point. Let me tell you what, I talk about, like, my soothing toy is to watch car resto guys. Okay. And one of them I watch, I'll tell you his channel name, it's Pole Barn Garage. One of the things he did, he went out to the desert and got a Pontiac GTO that for 40 years had been used as target practice, shot full of holes. There's literally not 3 square inches on the car that does not have a bullet hole of some caliber in it. It was engine block, frame, caved in, shot up body. He brought it from the American Southwest all the way back to Kansas and rebuilt the car. Did he rebuild it so that it's got air conditioning and electronics and a sound system and power steering? And no, he didn't. It's a beast of a car. It absolutely looks like something from Mad Max. The Road Warrior, not compared to this car, the stuff from Mad Max Fury Road is effete. What's happening, Paint Minis? I sent you an email. Did you get my email? And you're right, Bob. But here's the point that I'm making about the car, okay? If you look at that car and you think, man, with enough sheet metal and body fill and time and proper tools and calipers and a resto reworked interior and one of those ultra compact modern air conditioning units, you could make that into like a glorious luxury muscle car. You're missing the point. That would be the equivalent of playing, of using these books, but with modern rules. You're missing the point. You either love it, dense bullet holes and all, or just go get a different ride. And so that's the that when you know when you ask me, you know, that's the magic in the rules. That's what you hit on, Deadly Dungeon Master. That is the magic in AD&D. That's it. And I hope I made a good enough case for it. Every time I post that, I had originally said that bit about AD&D being where the black magic was way back on some other forum. And I remembered it because the question kept coming up, what keeps bringing you back to AD&D? And I thought, nothing encapsulates my opinion better than this. So I just have that as an image now. And when it pops up, when people are like, what's your favorite version of D&D? You know, little polls, you know, and they try to cram in like, you know, original basic expert 1E, 2E. And then they give separate categories to everything else. I don't respond to the poll. I don't vote. If you're not going to give AD&D its own category, I don't vote. I just paste that image in. I just paste that image of what I just said to you guys, the condensed version of what I said to you guys. Like this. Would I still play AD&D if all the books were no longer around? Like, all right, Paint Minis Live, because we're about to talk about something, not just D&D nostalgia here in just a minute. Yeah, I mean, like if I woke up tomorrow and all my books crumbled to dust, I would be heartbroken. I would be destroyed. Not for the majority of the books. I would be sad about the majority of the books, but I have autographs in them. I have Gary's autograph on all of my OD&D books. I have Dave Arneson's autograph on all my OD&D books. I have Gary and Jeff Perrin's autograph on my chainmail set. I have Tim Cast's autograph on Blackmore. I have Tracy's autograph in all the books that he worked on for TSR. I have Darlene, Dave LaForce, Jeff Easley, Errol Otis's. I have so many autographs from so many TSR greats. And if the books just disintegrated to powder tomorrow, or there was a great conflagration, setting aside everything that would cost me, I would be gutted. And when I was ready to play an RPG again, I'd be back to playing AD&D. I'd use the PDFs. I'd hate every minute of it. I'd scrimp and I'd save to get the hardbacks back again. But yes, even if there were no books anymore, I would still play it. So let's talk about something cool here in the time we have before we get started. This is a little thin on the ground because it was just a harebrained idea I came up with this afternoon. Paint Minis Live is a small but neat YouTube channel where they do just what they say. They paint minis live. And so he had asked me, he said, hey, I'll pop for a mini or minis and paint them for your show if you'll talk about us. And I'm absolutely okay doing that. I'm more than okay doing that. But I came up with an idea today. Every mini that I buy, whether it's a painted mini or an unpainted mini, is another, like, it's another painting task, right? It's putting off reducing the shelves of shame. And so Paint Minis Live said, hey, we'll do this. We'll get a mini or minis and paint them for you, and you can talk about us on the show. And so, I started thinking about it. It's like, well, that's nice. But do I really need more minis? No, I need the minis that I have painted. I have 3 resin 3D printers. I can knock out minis like that. I have no want or reason to buy anything other than boutique metal minis, like stuff from Effin' Cool and John Pops and stuff from Dark Sword. Stuff from there's a lot of good small batch, but like one-offs, right? Like, I don't need to go out and buy like 10 blisters of WizKids orcs, and I'm not gonna do it because I have enough, or I can print enough. And I have stuff that's 20 years old. I have 50-year-old miniatures on this shelf that need to be painted, and that's no lie. So when Paint Minis Live reached out to me with this idea, my thought was, rather than ask them to purchase a mini or minis and paint them on their show, I have some pieces over here that I would absolutely love to see finished so I can use them on the tabletop and show you guys when we do live play in Dwarven Forge on the tabletop. So what I'm going to do is I kind of mentally narrowed it down. There's I basically have 3 sets of Grenadier minis, AD&D Gold Box minis. I have the Red Dragon's Lair. Oh, thank you, Mark Morrison. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But anyway, so I have the expert hirelings, if you know that group. I started painting them on the show when I was doing painting streams myself, and I haven't gone back to them. I may start doing painting streams. Look out, Paint Minis Live. I have the Wizard's Lair, which is the wizard sitting in his chair. He's got the big familiar lizard. He's got the brazier with the cauldron sitting on it and the face kind of coming up out of the cauldron, the bookshelf, the table, the two, the kind of the 2 sort of Greek pots. I've got, is it Red Dragon Slayer, Hirelings? Okay. And another one I was thinking of was, you mean an airbrush, Kennick? Anyway, were my truly old school, like from the 1980s Deathwing Terminator squad that I got 2012 as a wedding anniversary present that have also never been painted. Because I hate GW, but I love Space Hulk. And they are originally intended for Space Hulk. They're Deathwing Terminators. So I'm going to take pictures of those sets, and I'm going to go on social media and Facebook, YouTube community, maybe Discord, definitely on Twitter. And I'm basically going to run a poll. Can you pick the colors for super chats? No, I think it depends on how much you super chat. No orbital air, me no ship, me have stick. Me have stick, ship later. Me have stick, ship soon. No worry, me have stick on way. By way, there am 12 copies me have stick left. $10 each for me have stick ultimate reductivist RPG. Autographed me have stick $11. But anyway, so I will poll you guys and you'll like it. I will poll you guys and ask you what mini or minis do you want Paint Minis Live to paint live for me? I'm putting it to a vote. I'm letting you guys decide which miniatures you want Paint Minis Live to paint. I will then package them up and send them to them. Now, I'm not going to lie. I actually kind of hope that the vote is in for the Red Dragon Slayer. But if you guys are like, no, Hirelings, no, Deathwing, no, Wizard's Lair, no, whatever, then so be it. The people have spoken. But that's the way we're going to do it. Instead of me, you guys will decide. You guys will engage. And let me be 100% certain here. I really, really only want it. I would prefer it if you are subscribed to the show before you vote. So if you're hanging out there and you haven't already, please click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, because that's helpful too. And for those who are curious, because I know a lot of you guys are, for those who are curious, we are currently sitting at 4,617 subscribers to the channel, which is pretty awesome. And I realized, by and large, that there's not 4,617 people out there watching right now. Vile Necromancer, he is at 115 subscribers. Please subscribe to Vile Necromancer. Please do that for me. But anyway, to get back to the matter at hand, you guys decide what mini or minis you want painted. Yeah, that's right, Yang. Only 6,500 more subscriptions till you get the in-person con in Orlando. 6,500 subscribers. At 10,000 subs, I will host an IRL convention. But I'm pretty safe. I think. Mark Morrison says, Hirelings, Alan Canning wants a bugbear. Well, thank you. Thank you, Paint Minis. But no, I mean it. If I get 10,000 subs on the channel, we will have a convention right here in sunny Central Florida. I'll find a way to make it happen. I'll figure it out. Guys, I just make shit up as I go. Where's the vendors hall, Bill? Over here. The people in the hotel are like, sir, please, sir, could you please, sir? No, I'll plan it a little better than that. The party at Bill's place. No, that's one thing. You guys do not find out where I live. I've given enough clues. It's like hidden stuff on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's, but no. Don't ever show up to my house being like, hey, you're the dungeon delver. And I'm like, hey, I'm calling the police department. There is a convention in Orlando. It's a good one. It's QuestCon. I was a guest at QuestCon. I was a Quest. Last summer, I got to go out there and do a one-man panel, and it kind of followed that I had like 5 people at my panel. So you know what? I've probably been negligent, and I'm gonna shoot out to our other 2 players real quick here. Hopefully they are watching and listening on Discord. Make sure real quick here. Alrighty, there we go. One of them will be along here shortly. So hopefully we'll have those folks joining us here momentarily. So we're waiting for the green room to fill up. You won't see me drive by. Exactly, Mark. What if you show up with snacks and dice? Do your snacks consist of ribeye steaks and potatoes for baking? See, as a grown-up gamer, my tastes have become more sophisticated. Just take over an existing con. Yeah, let's find some ailing science fiction convention and just be like, I'm bringing 200 people to your con. And they're like, oh, I'll need all of your exhibit space for our gaming tables. You're taking over, aren't you? Yes. I'll tell you, a buddy of mine, and he's a good guy. He's a big backer of this show. He's like a big financial backer of this show. Studio Lights, Boom, the 4K camera you're watching me on right now. I think I'm 99.99% sure the digital capture box. A Volcano God. For a couple of years, they actually did a mini con, and like they bought it like one of those cheap grills that you just like set on a table, and we're selling hot dogs and hamburgers outside all day long to gamers out in the parking lot of this massive comic store that's primarily Magic the Gathering. So, you got to go up to the counter. You'll order on a terminal or on your phone, and then you go up to the counter and you're like, I'm order 9999, and then they pull your order and give it to you. But they do that for all of their material. And they used that as a convention space for a weekend. Orlando area gamers did. And it was hugely successful. So, any advice on playing a game at Guac? Playing it, running it, or playing it, just playing it? Be there on time. Push to talk. most DMs, I'm guessing, probably are not going to insist you use a camera. Try to be in kind of a quietish room. Make sure you have a good internet connection. And otherwise, just treat it like a real con. Be respectful and have fun. Couldn't just sell food here at the con host when okay. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, when I set my games up at the con, I'm not going to require cameras. I'm not going to use cameras. I'm on a camera 20 hours a week sometimes. You know, you figure more like 15, 12 to 15. So yeah, we're waiting on our other two players to come skating on in here, and as soon as they do, we'll get going on some classic Gamma World, and we'll run that till 11 o'clock tonight. So never fear. This convention everyone's talking about, it's between Han or Orlando. Tough choice. But anyway, so regardless of what we might or might not ever do in the future, and if I'm being honest, I'm thinking I would have to realistically say that like an in-person con is not going to happen. And I'm not saying that just to be ugly and cynical about it. I just simply I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to get 10K subs. I mean, roll your dice. Game Masters will be using a dice bot of some kind. Alan, some Game Masters may trust you to roll. I think if you start getting suspiciously high rolls, like never below a 16 or 17, they might ask to see your dice, as it were. But I mean, I got to have some limits. I got to have some limits. And I think setting the hard deck as 10K subs, that's just kind of the way it is. That's just kind of the way it is. I mean, numbers have to mean things. Rules have to mean things. Because otherwise you're playing, Dungeons and Beavers. Am I right? I am right. Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, the PC now having 48 gigabytes of RAM is notably snappier in terms of response, and I'm quite happy with that. And I can't wait to drop the new processor in it Sunday. I'll have to make sure I can find someplace that's selling thermal paste. There's a little while if you're into like performance PCs, yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Dungeon Minister. I mean, I would have to charge. Hello, Vincent Nota Bartolo. Yeah, so let me just put something out on the table here. Again, I'm not getting 10,000 subs. Okay, that just yes, maybe eventually, right? But kind of like it's a sparrow with an infinite lifespan could whittle down a parsec-sized cube of granite, given enough time. That's the time scale I feel like I'm talking about here. But like if I woke up tomorrow and one of you guys was just like, I'm going to shut him up, and you bought Chinese subscribe bots, and I woke up tomorrow and had 10,001 subscribers, oh shit, what do? I would have to, regardless, the con will cost money. And in real life and IRL, like you come down here to Florida, you'll have to pay for a ticket. You'll have to pay for badges for the con. That would just have to be how it was, unless, you know, you were an exhibitor or whatever, and I'd have to figure all that out too. And it's certainly like, you know, if I woke up tomorrow again and some lunatic had bought 10,000 subscriptions from a Chinese subscribe bot or whatever, I wouldn't be, I would not be like, well, we got 10,000 subs yesterday. The con is next weekend. No, it would be like, oh my gosh, we broke 10,000 subs. Let's start planning the con. And it might be in the fall or the winter or even the following year. I mean, it's just the realities, right? Who wants to carpool from the Midwest? That's right, Yang. You're in the Midwest. You going to GaryCon next year, my man? You got Yang. If you're up there in the Midwest, bro, you have got to go to GaryCon, right? I mean, 6, 7, 8 hour drive. Dude, that's so where if GaryCon was in southern Georgia, I'd drive. Our silver passes, I think, were 100 apiece, Yang. And it is in mid-March or mid-late March, like around the 20th or so, whatever that last. Yeah, I guess it would be the last weekend of March. Don't quote me on that. Now is the window of the bill content. Bill's content is currently on hold because I'm waiting on I'm waiting on a player or two to join us. I'm sorry. I mean, you know, this is kind of the exigency of gaming. I mean, for my money, I kind of hope Luke moves it like into April. I know he wants to do it around the time, you know, in March. His dad passed him. Maybe that's not why he wants to do it. Maybe he just thinks it'll be less expensive then. But oh my God, a foot of snow. No. No. No, 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 no. No, nobody. No, no. I don't do snow, man. I don't do snow, man. But I mean, you know, you hold a con. No, if I was going to have a tent based convention, so I have to tell you guys this while we're waiting for our gamers to join. How many of you guys heard about the Fire Festival? FYRE Fire Festival. If you don't know, look it up. I'm 2 degrees removed from the Fire Festival. The spring before, so I've kind of buried the lead a little bit on this. I've kind of spoiled it a little bit already, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. Yeah, I can't, John. I'm too tense. My next CPU jack is like a 3.5 gigahertz. Basically, it's a socket 2011. Anyway, the husband of my daughter's Girl Scout troop leader does event logistics. he was in Washington, D.C. for President Obama's second inaugural, that setting up chairs and stuff like that. Very interesting gig. Very cool. And one morning, I'm walking my dog through the neighborhood. Nice, cool spring morning. And Zeus and I are around the corner. And there he is. And I'm like, hey, Jason, you guys doing a little front yard camping? And he says, no. This is, we're doing a music festival. And we're setting up the tent. We're seeing how the tent's set up, how fast they go up. I was like, oh, I got you. And so I walk on. Don't even think twice about it. And it's just literally fast forward a few months, few weeks. I don't remember what the timeline was. And I'm starting to see stuff kick up on social media, now trending Fire Festival. And I'm even seeing news reports about what a disaster the Fire Festival is. So I'm like, it just so happened there was a Girl Scout event. And I asked the troop leader mom, I was like, so, is Jay here? And she's like, no, he's at a music festival in the Bahamas. And I was like, oh, right, he mentioned that. Lucky for him. And she kind of went, I just hope he can make it home. If you've seen the pictures of the luxury glamping accommodations at the Fire Festival, the domed tents, that's what they were test setting up in my neighbor's yard. His company got contracted to go down there. They had no idea that things were that much of a shit show. So they get down there. Now, they got paid in advance. They get down there and they spend days putting these tents up. Days and days and days and days putting these tents up at Fire Festival. So if you've ever seen that camera panning across that Mad Maxian wasteland of these plastic dome tents, just know I saw them first. And now you know the rest of the story. So I'm going to see, let me see. But anyway, hopefully, now, generally, if I can only get a couple of players, we might scrub tonight. Might do a little bit of role play, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah. Thank you, Death Angel. You know, so God made a delver. He said, I need somebody to roll dice, play games, sit up all night, drink a bunch of beer, get up in the next morning and do it again. So God made a delver. So while we're waiting here, and we'll wait a few more minutes, and then we'll at least give our two green room folks a chance to have some significant role play or something like that. Does anyone have any questions? Any D&D related questions, or not D&D related questions? Just ask. Just fire away. Thoughts on OSE? Old School Essentials. Don't know. Got it right here. Ugh! Did I? No, I haven't found my old bear. That's somebody else I want to have on this summer, of course. We want to get Bob Antone back on the show. What is the Red Dragon Slayer? The Red Dragon Lair. Red Dragon's Lair. As creatures of the night, of course, we are very interested in the superb owl. Hey, I got my gamer just as... Okay, so core rules. Old school essential core rules. I don't know. This looks pretty bulky compared to me have stick. This too many rules. Me have stick simpler. Quick save F5. Greetings. Is there a game in particular? Yeah, I want to see his Doom Sword's AD&D tournament go off. I want to see how my session of Me Have Stick work. Me Have Stick debut and sell out and go out of print at Guac. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're a little over the mark here, but let's get into some. There am 12 copies Me Have Stick left. Let's give a big Delver's Dungeon welcome to Rex Dashington as Yang Yanzell.
Good evening, everyone.
Sapphire Kanek as Mercy.
Evening, peeps.
And the man with no name named Numbers Rab as played by Doomsword Deathmaster. Good evening to all my players.
How's it going?
It is going very well. You're in good voice tonight, Doomsword, and welcome to the parade. So let's just jump right into it. You are all at Goodwater. Actually, Numbers, you just got your forehead tattooed in block letters. It says probably sane.
I forgot about that.
So, what's your next move, adventurers?
Well, like all good tattoos, I don't remember getting mine.
Does Numbers know he has it?
Give me a D20 roll, Numbers. Let's check out the new numbers. I'm gonna mute Safi's mic here. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
All right, hang on, I'm almost there.
I'll teach you to have company.
Man, hell of a day today. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
all right. D20.
Yes. Yes, you distinctly remember being judged probably sane by the Metabot in Sanctuary, and so he stamped that in ink on your forehead, and you decided to take the short journey to Goodwater and have it permanently inscribed there. So you have across your forehead, it's about temple to temple width, slightly at an angle, probably sane.
Does that satisfy y'all?
Hey, it's your skin.
For now.
Feels good too.
Yeah, it's got kind of a cool sort of a menthol wintergreen briskness to it. So
what kind of font is it? Can we go there?
Just a block stencil font.
Oh, okay.
What is your next move, adventurers? What will you do?
Were we kind of talking where we were going to go next?
I think we were talking about heading on vacation.
Yeah. That sounds completely and totally doable.
I'm on permanent vacation.
Fantastic album.
Okay, so anyway,
Are We're going to the Magic Kingdom.
Up there. Let me just sorry about that. At any rate, yeah, you guys had talked about possibly going south to explore the Disney. Actually, you're not sure where it is. You're not sure if it's south. It's you haven't the faintest idea.
Do we have a GPS in our bubble car?
Yes, you do. However, there have been no functioning satellites for over 200 years, so it is entirely useless.
Would it still have maps, even if it can't tell us where? It can't point us in the direction, but would it still have the maps if we were searching for stuff?
I think so. My car is outdated like 4
Let's
years and
see.
it still comes up.
Actually, that's not the die I wanted to roll.
Looks cool though.
It does. I thought so.
It's fancy.
So yeah, Do-Re-Mi is actually able to kind of fiddle around with the onboard controls and bring up a map. And he says, this doesn't really resemble anything. And it kind of brings you back to what you've heard from elders and lore tellers and so on your entire lives. Well, Mercy and Numbers, Rex, you have no recollection of this. But you've heard lore tellers say that the war that the ancients fought literally changed the shape of the land itself. That pieces of the world fell into the sea, mountains rose up where there had been none, or they were leveled and reduced to plains. Those were the terrible energies unleashed in hundreds of years ago did that. However, it is a generally similar shape to the map that Do-Re-Mi brings up. And he says, well, I don't think any of these places exist anymore. And I'm pretty sure none of these roads exist anymore. And I'm
fly very fast, so
I'm
if
damn
it's
sure
not there, then we change direction.
doesn't exist anymore. And he points to a little peninsula on the map that is to the south of you. There's a huge, gigantic bay of water on one side and the vast ocean on the other.
Well, why don't we just take a road trip and see what's there?
Sounds good to me.
We've been
Numbers?
scavenging this whole time. Why not do it some more?
All right,
Oh.
we're all in agreement.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Oops. Alrighty, so this is going to require a little bit of. So Do-Re-Mi climbs into the cockpit and says, "Do we want to get anything before we go?"
How much food and I know I grabbed medical supplies, but how much food do we have just to be on the safe side? I mean, I know we can travel fast, but just to be safe.
We do need some road snacks. Let's
Okay.
go see what they have in the canteen.
All right,
Smoke some road beers.
that works too. We're not driving.
Do they happen to have a keg?
To the best of your knowledge, I mean, Yeah, you know what? You can buy a keg of beer.
Yes.
Nice.
Then yes, I would like to find a keg of beer for the party.
And those potato chippy things. Those
They
are
do have
good.
those potato chippy things. I don't know why that's stuck. Let me refresh this page real quick.
Yeah, try that, Bill. I mentioned it to you in the Discord. I saw that same thing in a test thing that I was doing. If you don't pick up the hidden dice before they disappear on their own, they're stuck there.
All right. Well, let me try something here. But before we need to talk about Yang's kego beer.
Dark, light, ale, amber. I'm good.
All right. So when it comes to that thing, 20 Domars will get you a barrel of a very sweet beer that's made out of a blend of like corn and wheat.
Why don't you just bill it to the base?
Why don't you pay me now?
Rex will look in his clothes, and he will say to this, guys, I only have 12 Dilmars on me.
I don't think they heard you. Why don't you bill it to the base?
Give him your stern look.
Rex,
I think you will bill it to the base.
Rex will turn back to the proprietor and give him what I call the commander's eye as he stares at him and says, the base will be happy to pay you for this. And if we think it's good in the future, we will definitely have a contract with you to regularly supply the canteen with beer.
Okay, roll percentile dice real quick. What Rex has a pretty high charisma, right?
Sorry, he has what?
Rex has a pretty high charisma, right?
His charisma is 14.
I'm gonna
that's
lean on him. I'm gonna lean on him and say, "Oh yes, you really need to do this."
Wait, I don't know.
I'll get a little bit better charisma, so.
Okay.
99?
99. He's like, oh, of course, Rex Washington. We can absolutely do that. I will take your 12 Domars, and you can pay me the beer, and we will proceed apace.
Excellent. I'm so happy we can do business.
All right. So you have a wooden keg of beer. You can easily pick it up with your power armor, but it is it's fresh, and it costs you 12 Domars instead of 20. Very nice.
I did not bring my power armor here, so I will I don't know, find some other way to drag it back.
They'll I mean, you can carry it. It's just exceptionally heavy. But you know what? With a reaction score like that, he will actually lend you a cart. He will loan you a cart.
A tapper and the glasses. The red glasses.
All right. I've got to try and fix the die roller real quick. Let me do this.
Yeah, it looks like it's locked.
So I add that back.
Oh, we are completely road tripping this. Let's get all our snacks.
And let me go to the DD Dice website. And I don't know that worked.
I
It
see
did
a
not.
single die in there, but the other ones are like locked in yet.
Yeah, it's looking all right in the browser window for me. I'm not
Okay.
seeing them purple ones anymore.
Yeah, I don't see them either.
All right. I think what I need to do is actually.
Yeah, I refreshed and the locked ones are gone for me too. So
Well, I can see the die rolls on screen. All right, so let's have a quick gander here. Doesn't take you that long to walk back to Stronghold, and nothing untowards happens along the way.
All right.
Alan says, check it for radiation first. That's everything.
So at Stronghold, we're gonna grab like chips and pretzels and peanuts and whatever else we're gonna eat along the way. Get little sandwiches.
Roasted corn. There's no chips, pretzels, peanuts, or little sandwiches.
Okay.
You can get bread and so on and etc.
Oh, bread? Yeah, we'll do bread.
All right.
I mean, you got the yeast in it anyway, so you're just adding to it.
If it's stale, it'll be similar to pretzels.
Hopefully we got butter to go with the bread. Maybe it's pretzel bread. Just kidding.
Okay, so you've loaded up on supplies for a short flight. Where are you heading? Where are you going? You said you wanted to go south.
I think we will maybe fly south until we hit the coast, and then we'll follow the coast until we try to find that peninsula.
Okay.
Seems good to me.
Avoiding Lanta if possible.
Yeah, it just steers you guys out of the way, and there is no you don't even fly near Atlanta as you zip down the coast. Beneath you, you see vast stretches of barren lands. You see just riots of grown-up forest biology completely out of control. Let's see. Does anyone attempt to shoot you down as you fly?
I'm gonna ask Doremi to teletune map as we go too, if it can. So we have the current data and the computer.
He says, well, I can try to do that, but I'm not really having any luck with it right now.
I'll make notes as we go. So-and-so time, this is what we saw. So-and-so time, this is what we saw. Old tech.
Can Rex, while he's drinking and eating corn, try to sketch a map?
That's up to the player. Do you want to, Rex? Do you want to try and sketch a map?
He will attempt that.
Give me a D20 roll, please.
I'm gonna look over his shoulder and advise him as he's sketching.
The vehicle's going a little fast for it. I mean, you're trying. You're like, mountains, ruins, desert. So I mean, you're getting something on paper. How accurate it might be, you're not entirely certain.
How are my notes going on my journal?
You're going from looking over his shoulder, so yeah. All right. I've got to figure out. Let's see. Got to try and get this turned back on so our good folks can see this. Doomsword, how do I add this back? How do I add our die roller back?
Yeah, I was going to try to interrupt. What if you pull out that browser source in OBS and re-add it?
Let me try that. Let's remove that. Hopefully I didn't just make myself disappear. I didn't. Browser. We're going to call this. And okay. It was browser. For some reason, it was defaulting back to window capture when I was trying to re-add it.
Oh.
Hey!
Hello.
Thank you.
Distracting me not having it there.
Sword. Super chat to Doom Sword to show your appreciation. And I mean that. I mean that sincerely. The same thing applies. You know, super chats will go to who you want them to. So you follow the coast, and Do-Re-Mi is taking it easy as he's flying along. I mean, this thing, hums and bangs and groans, and you hear these kind of rushing noises as it goes along. You do come on a sea-washed peninsula that, compared to the map that's on the screen, what you're seeing on the ground is much narrower and shorter, with extremely wide beaches on either coast as he kind of brings you in low. But dotting it here and again, there are plenty of places where you can see various ruins, and there is one sort of vasty ruin right in the middle of it that looks like it seems to be the largest ruin. If whatever you're looking for is anywhere, it's going to be there.
Damn it, Doe, you found paradise. Would you look at how beautiful it is?
Congrats, Doe.
This is where Rex wanted to go, so
On the map, is it listed what this ruin is supposed to be?
Yeah, there's an orange dot, and there's the rather interesting name on the screen of Orlando. And you see overlaid over what you over this, there is a mighty grid of streets and roads. And down below you is jungle choked ruin. These streets and roads on your map have no meaning. Oh, hey, Josh. Yes, we are playing Gamma World First Edition. Sorry, I missed your question earlier.
Okay. Is there? How does it seem in terms of safety? Like, do we see roving gangs, Zeeth, anything like that?
Yeah, well, let's have a gander.
Flying creatures?
Nope. You spend a while flying around, but of course, and again, the ground is choked with ruins and overgrowth. Greetings, Jorge.
When you say ruins, is it like buildings, or are there other kind of ruins that might be different than the usual ruins?
No, it's I mean, buildings are what generate ruins, so it's, buildings.
I think she's asking if there are the ruins of perhaps roller coasters and a castle and things like that.
Oh,
Golf ball.
if you're gonna fly around looking for stuff like that.
Yeah. A magic river?
Okay, a couple more hours of exploration later, and you do in fact see what looks like a rather large open space surrounded by jungle in various places, but you think you see the ruins of a castle, and not more than a few kilometers away, there's the skeletal remains of some kind of geodesic dome.
Oh, that's fun.
Guys, I think we found it.
Let's do
Found
it.
what?
Paradise.
I think. Well, whatever.
I mean,
All
this
right.
this is what everybody talks about. I mean, this is passed down.
Everybody except me, I suppose.
Oh, you didn't hear the stories about this magic kingdom?
Unfortunately, I didn't.
I've heard that there's actually medical technology here. For example, I hear you're supposed to be able to keep heads preserved, frozen for the future.
Okay, that's kind of freaky. But I mean, they had weird kind of making people from people, cloning things, so I guess it could happen.
Any of you got a psycho dose? It's probably a good time to take it.
No,
All right.
but you're mostly sane.
You're mostly sane. So as the bubble,
Probably.
as Doe flies the bubble car around, you can see like a great pyramid of ancient concrete, and there's it's broken in pieces, but you see what looks like a track. It's some kind of elevated walkway. You're not sure what it is. It's very narrow. It's made of elongate pieces of rusted metal and ancient alloys that go right into the heart of this rectangular flat-topped pyramid shape. And then there's more on the other side that seem to go straight towards the area where the castle is. And Doe remarks, landing on top of that might be pretty safe.
Let's look around and see if there's like any baddies, basically. any of the hostiles that seem to be noting us.
Just flying around, you can't see anyone, but I mean, you're in an ancient flying vehicle. They might have all, headed for cover.
Oh,
Whatever you say, Dev's cool with me.
All right. Well, I'll extend the landing pads and gently touch us down. And if I feel this thing shift, I'll hit the thrusters and get us back up off before we plummet in. Yes, Jimmy, we're playing Gamma World now. So he lowers the bubble car down, and it lands. You can kind of feel its gravitic field relax a little bit, and it doesn't go plummeting through the building. And he looks around and says, well, everybody remember where we parked?
the top of the pyramid. I think we can remember.
All right, so he's climbing out of the bubble car, and the air here is just thickly humid. You hear the buzz of insect life all around you. There's great stretches of green in the distance. There's always that ever-present smell of the sea. You can see sunlight glinting off of ruins here and again. There's the aforementioned geodesic dome. You think you can see some of the gray remains of roadways off in the distance. He says, there's a door. Maybe there's a ladder or something that goes down.
So
Let's check it out,
Rex has suited up by this point. And he's going to pop his head out. And first, he's going to do a quick search. He wants to do, number one, radiation, most importantly. And then like a quick infrared and ultraviolet search. See if there's any creatures around.
All right. So Rex steps out right behind Doe. Doe's, kind of stretching, and it's like, I don't know how the ancients sat down so much. I mean, a person's supposed to stand up on their feet and walk around, Rex, you are looking with infrared. Give me a D6 roll, please. Okay. And this is actually just a little roll to see, you are the NPC. Yeah. So Doe says, hey, look, Orlin over there. And sure enough, there is a group of Orlin in the doorway. It's just this small, like 3 meter by 3 meter structure there. And leaning out, you see the two faces of at least one Orlin looking back at you. You are not surprised. Mercy and Numbers, you guys are still in the bubble car. Having no, well, no, actually, he does have armor. He does have some armor. So, Doe is standing alongside you and says, "What's our play here, Rex? I'll follow your lead."
Well, sorry, Orlins were the dragony guys who like cloth, right?
No, Orlin. I will describe Orlin.
And they got to be in Orlando, huh?
Damn it!
Their home.
It's their native land.
So Orlin are 2.5 meter tall humanoid mutants. They have 4 arms. They are blue, but otherwise look human. And you see a small group. Now they are noted for their. Or you see one, but they're noted for their appreciation and adeptness at technology. And this one is smiling, and he raises a couple of his hands.
And we've had good dealings with Orlins before, right?
They always seemed to be decent enough beings.
All right. I'm going to step out of the car. I'm going to wave. Hello there.
Well, you already were out of the car, but
all right.
I am Jorad, and I am pleased to see you. Now, out of your power armor, you'd be like much shorter than him. Even in your power armor, he's still like, looking at the top of your head, 2.5 meters tall. He's got a pack slung on his back, and he walks towards you. Greetings, travelers.
Hello, friend. We have come here seeking a bit of respite. We've heard that this is the magical kingdom of the ancients, and we wanted to see if it was true.
I too have heard this about this place. You could see it glittering like a jewel from far off. I was out yonder, and he points with three of his arms, out yonder along the sandy stretch between the green and the sea, and I could see the domes and towers here, ruined though they were. I knew this must be a powerful place of the ancients, holding many secrets. And through careful negotiation of the jungles, I found my way through until I was able to reach this place. This very morning, I climbed up the side of this strange building of the ancients and had only just entered that structure that has stairs in it over there when I heard your vehicle approach.
Oh, well, it is good to meet you. Are you also here to see the ruins, or I know your people are very interested in technology, or are you here to trade?
Well, I might always be interested in trading. Do you wish to trade anything now, or perhaps when you return from exploring this kingdom of magic?
Well, if you'll be here, perhaps later. But for now, why don't you come on over? We have beer and corn and bread. Join
Beer,
us.
bread, and corn. I understand. What is beer?
Beer. Beer is a magical drink. It's delicious, especially on a hot day like this. Come, join us.
All right, he strolls right over and sits down. Greetings to your friends, and Do-Re-Mi waves an armored hand and says, I'm Do-Re-Mi.
I fill up a red cup and I hand it to him and say, "Hi, I'm Mercy. Welcome to the party."
Greetings, Mercy, and I am not completely understanding of pure strain humans' customs. Pardon my abruptness. Is your name probably Sane?
That'd be it.
Of course. Should I call you Sane, or is probably acceptable?
Probably better.
Of course, probably. Well met. All right. I need to check something real quick. So, Yang, give me a 3d6 roll. You're going to determine this here. You're going to determine this. Roll.
Sorry.
3d6.
3d6. All right.
Please, and thank you. Okay. He's still talking to you as he opens, as his other head opens its mouth, and he drinks the beer down and is like, kind of tart and sort of sweet. That has a bit of a kick to it. I would like another. And by the way,
I take his empty cup and I refill it and give it back to him.
Okay.
Here you go.
He drinks this one more slowly. For those of you who are interested, that is a strength 14 toxin. The beer is. Fortunately, an Orlin has 15 hit dice, so he does not immediately fall unconscious after completely drinking one down. He was no lightweight. So yeah, he tells you about his journeys up and down he said, "I understand the name that the ancients gave it, the Space Coast. As you can see, there is, again, peering off into the distance towards the sandy ribbon. There is much space between the sea and the green. They were wise to name it this."
And have you met many other people in this area?
There are always potentially harmful mutants and other such beings. I tried to keep to myself. A wondrous vehicle such as this and your accoutrements, such as you wear, were too fascinating for me to avoid. And besides, you have one of the ancient bubble cars. I could not have evaded you on foot. Better to confront you and hope that you are friendly than run and potentially make myself a target.
Smart move.
Well, perhaps we can.
Thank you. Probably.
Then perhaps we can explore these ruins together.
I'm sure you have a lot of information because you've been here for a while and know what's what here.
No, Mercy. As I said, I arrived just this morning and began to set up an encampment here on the top of this building.
Well, at least the greater area, anyway.
I actually wish to explore at a later time the beer that you have given me has made me somewhat tired. Do you mind if I follow along later?
No problem. We can meet up.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you let us know beforehand. I don't want nobody following me without my knowledge.
I
Do
understand.
you want me to administer medical care? I can do that.
No, that is entirely unnecessary. I have had the wines of my people, and the effect is not unlike your beer. So I think perhaps I will just I will rest here in the shade and have a bit of water and a lie down and attempt to meet up with you at a later time. Mercy, Rex,
Okay.
probably.
Well, it was fantastic to meet you, and we would definitely like to talk again about trade before we head off.
Of course. Fare you well. And
So, you gonna hang out with this guy?
Doe says, "Yeah, somebody should definitely be here." And I'm kind of the only one that knows how to run the vehicle. You're stuck if I die.
That's it. Yeah.
I'll just make sure that that you lock the doors.
So he and the Orlin begin to talk about technology and so on and etc. They nerd out. So you have the opening in the top of the rectangular flat pyramid with the broken bits of roadway that seem to run lengthwise through the center of it. And there's the opening that the Orlin himself was on the verge of exploring. What do you wish to do, adventurers?
I'm gonna follow Rex.
Okay.
Rex will start heading towards that opening and do his best to reconnoiter it.
Okay. You go down a
We'll
couple
go with the
flights
group.
of stairs before you come to a door that it is slightly ajar, but at a slight touch, it doesn't move. You may have to actually yank it open. But the
Stand back, guys.
stairs
I
do
got this.
continue down past it.
Wouldn't that just be pulling the door for Rex with his armor?
Yeah, I mean, your powered armor, you think you can grab it. Go ahead and give me a D6 roll there, Rex.
Come on, man. It's total gridlock.
Yeah, not a problem. You just get your armored gauntlet in there and just, kind of squeeze the metal a little bit and pull it back. And you are looking down a dark hallway. In your infrared sensors, everything is warm here. There's humid. There's, giant swathes of mildew growth on the walls. There's wires hanging down from the ceiling here and again, but there are regularly spaced openings down the hall, and then there is what looks like a mezzanine of some kind on the far end of it.
But no Zeeth, right?
Not immediately, no. You don't see any Zeeth.
All right, then I'll say, come on, guys. There's a mezzanine up there.
All right. Question for probably. Does he have? Does that powered plate armor have infrared, UV? Because he still has some snoopers, so he can pull those over if that would work.
You'd need to use your snoopers. This powered armor is last gen. It's a previous generation to Rex's.
All right, I'll pull that down. Make sure I can see.
Okay. You've got 8 rooms on the left, 8 rooms on the right. Most of them, as you go along, you can see the doors have fallen off their hinges, and there's the rotted remains of once rich furnishings within. The doors on the left, the rooms on the left, as you look through them, you can see sunlight pouring in. So they must have had windows that faced out, which, when you think about when you approach this place, you could see regular openings. There is fainter light, but some daylight coming from the 4 rooms on the right, whose doors have fallen in or been broken in or whatever. But as far as how they're appointed, it's pretty much the same. Once rich, rotting, now rotten remains of furniture, maybe a bone peeking out of a spot, whether it's human or what have you, you don't know. Various bits of detritus lying scattered here and there. There are a couple of rooms on the left and 4 rooms on the right whose doors are still intact and they're closed.
Because it's such a good idea, Rex will try to open one of the closed doors.
Okay. Give me a D6 roll, please. All right. Opening the door is not a problem. And nothing jumps out at you when you do that. I'm going to get that dice off my face. Yeah, so this room is it's dark, it's mildewy looking across the width of the room. There are windows that open, but they open to an inner building. Like there's a balcony, but you feel like you'd be looking inside of a building.
Can I look through those windows and see what's in that building?
Yes, you can. Here, there's wild growth. There's a sort of riot of plants. There's vines that hang all the way to the ground. Either end of this structure have massive openings in them. And you can see going through at a couple of different levels here are more of those roadways or walkways of the ancients, you're not sure. But sitting on one of them, you see some kind of long silver white vehicle. It's kind of sitting at an angle on one of the roads. It's got a narrow tapered end, and there's faded red, white, and blue coloration on it. And that's down, like, you'd have to be down on the ground in the inner space.
Does it in any way resemble the bubble car?
No, it does not. I mean, it does look kind of high tech, but it doesn't, it like the bubble car is just superior.
All right. Well, I will report back and say, hey guys, there's a window into some other building. It looks like in this building there's some kind of a really big car of the ancients.
Oh, interesting.
You want to smash the window and breach?
I
Well,
like your thinking. Go for
can
it.
you fly over there and check it out?
You can do whatever you want.
Numbers, would you like to do the honors and completely destroy something of the ancients?
Hey, it would be my pleasure.
Well, the two you
I've
have the
had it.
armor, so hey.
I'll take the butt of the laser rifle over towards that window and smash it out if I can.
Okay. You smash the glass out. It takes a couple of whacks. It's not the same glass that would be in there today, but yeah, I mean, you got your powered armor and you smash a U-sized hole in it. As I said, as Rex Dashington was describing it to you, there's great hanging green areas in here. There's tall, fringy palm trees. You see normal wildlife here and there, birds and such. And perhaps 30 meters below you, just as he described, there's this roadway of the ancients running through the middle of a grass and plant covered broad flat space, and then there is the vehicle of the ancients.
All right, on the immediately on the other side of that window, is there some sort of area that one could walk along or anything like that, or is it like a precipitous drop down just on the other side of the window?
No, there's a balcony. It's
right.
It's just like 1.5 meters deep and maybe 3 meters wide.
All right, I'll stick my left leg through the hole first,
Okay.
and then bring the right side of my body through with my laser rifle at the ready, and move to the left side so that the others can follow in.
Okay.
All right.
All right. You're standing in this vasty space before you.
Does it look like there's... Well, I've had great luck with these so far. So are there any computerized information terminals or something that looks like it might be like that?
No. Everything here is rotted and corroded. The most you see are wires covered in corrosion poking out of various points in the wall, at least here.
All right, is there an apparent way down the 30 feet to the roadway?
30 meters, but no.
30 meters, right.
Yeah, not here. Although you do see the roadway is actually split. There's perhaps a 15-meter wide gap between one roadway and the other. And you can just faintly see what look like metal staircases that go up from the level you're at, and they kind of form sort of a zigzag pattern as they go down. And looking out, you can see that the walkway that leads to these stairs on your level is back in the other direction. Like you would come out to it somewhere else on this level, but not where you're at.
Seems quiet enough. What do you want to do, Rex?
What? So it doesn't really look like there's that much of interest to us in this building itself.
Well, what if we go down? I mean, I'm looking 25,
Is there a hallway
30
out
meters.
of this room?
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Doomsword?
I was just telling Rex, I'm looking down a long way. There might be something good down there, may not.
And what was the question, Sapphire?
Is there a hallway out of this room that may like have additional rooms in that towards what we think will be the connection to this walkway that goes down?
There's the hallway that you came down, and there might be one on the other side. There might be a door on the other side. You're not sure.
Does it seem to be the direction where it looks like it connects up with this metal stairs going down?
That would be the direction you'd have to go to get there, yes.
All right.
Well, I suppose we can continue down for a while if you want.
I'm good with it all.
All right, let's just check it out.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing here, so maybe we'll find something once we keep going.
All right. So it's generally speaking a repeat of what I said. The further down you get, you see a couple of rooms that have apparently been closed and have survived the elements for all the ages. And those, when you look in them, those are the most surprising. In fact, you open one and it is, there's mold about halfway up the walls and the floor squishes a little bit when you walk on it. But compared to everything else, this place is a well-preserved time capsule. Off to your left as you come in, and now this is going interior, not exterior. Just as you're kind of checking out random rooms looking for a way down. But immediately on the left are what you think might be a food storage cabinet and food preparation area. There is it's sagging. It is, thank you, Alan. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Now I'll have to look on YouTube and see what you stickered me. I can do that now because I have 48 gigs of RAM, and buddy, I'm not afraid to use it. But you are... What super sticker did we get from Alan? A thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thumbs up to you too, buddy. So anyway, you've got the food preparation area. There's a low wall that separates it from the rest of everything else. There's a thin, semi-transparent rectangle on the wall. Flanking it are, strangely, despite the fact that there's next to no light here, what look like a couple of leafy green plants. There's a table just to the right of that with chairs sitting around it. There's a doorway that leads into a short hall. And there's there are brightly colored, now a lot of them are faded and rotted, so it's just kind of remains, but there's brightly colored images in frames on the wall, and all of them seem to depict some sort of very fanciful place, blue skies, the castle you're looking for, Rex, and one of them has something that resembles the ruins of the geodesic dome that you saw as your bubble car was approaching this ruin, but it's completely intact.
Rex will just stand there and stare at it.
Give me a percentile roll, Rex. Yeah, so Rex, you are in it just kind of like comes to you in a flash. It's like trying to grab a handful of soap bubbles. You know you've got something, but you can't hold on to it for long. You're in some place, something called the Contemporary in Disney World.
Hey, guys, I kind of remember something. This place, it wasn't called Disney. It was called Disney World.
Oh, wow.
Cool story, Rex. I'm
I'm not
smash
sure
it
what
up into
Disney's
food
are, though.
containers.
I'm
All
looking
right,
at the
fine.
plants. Can I identify the plants at all?
Give me a D20 roll. Well, I mean, if you're checking the plants out, they seem to be made from like a thin cloth, a thin green cloth that's been cut in the shape of leaves. When you approach it, it is exceptionally lifelike, but it's not a real plant. These aren't real plants.
So they're like silk?
So you're opening the food containers.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So you pull open a couple. It's just like layers of mold. Very kind of unpleasant smell. But yeah, I mean, it is unlike all of the other chambers like this that you've seen. It appears to be more or less intact.
Any salvageable rations?
No.
Right.
I'm going to take the flowers, though. The fabric flowers with us.
Okay. Well, I mean, what you could like absolutely cut them out of the baskets that they're standing in. They are they are like 1.5 meters tall.
I'm going to take the baskets with me.
Okay, that's fine. It's actually not that heavy. Picking it up. So as I said, there is a short hall that goes a little bit back away from this.
Rex will head down that hall.
I'll follow him.
Okay, Rex.
I'm going up the rear.
You kind of got to shift and turn. This hallway was clearly not made for power armor. There is a large sleeping chamber here. Just to the right of it is another doorway, and you've sort of come in close enough to this one that it looks like there's a large basin that has brown streaks of rust through it. It's maybe just under 2 meters long and perhaps a third of a meter wide. Blue and white tiles, although most of them have fallen off into it. You recognize the basic conveniences of a bathroom there, and there's the bed. The rotted remains of the bedding is kind of heaped up in the middle.
Sure, I'll check around and see if there were any sort of personal belongings, like if anyone was using this at the time. And he'll also just check the toilet and see if that works, just out of curiosity.
No, it does not. However, looking in a couple of closets that are there that are slightly open, draped over the hooks and so on are the tattered remains of clothes. They mostly sort of lost their coloration, but with the little bit you can tell it was brightly colored. And one of the pieces, I mean, it falls apart when you reach out with your power gauntlets and touch it, but you can tell it was some kind of a loose fitting sort of blousy shirt that buttoned up the front, and it had a repeating pattern of a black circle with two smaller circles attached.
So the whole suit was like that?
No, just this shirt that you find was like that. And
he will make a mental note.
Okay. Is anyone examining the bed, or are you guys just moving on?
I got nothing.
Any
to look
kind of
at
closets
around
or
here.
anything like that might have storage at all. Just making sure we don't miss anything.
Okay. Rex has done a pretty thorough job of looking around here. The closets have all been opened, and other than the things I've described and the things that you guys might not have checked out, seems to be otherwise void.
Darn, they used the shampoo.
No minibar?
No. Sorry, no mini bar. Or Mickey bar for that matter.
I don't know if this place was quality or not. Let's move on.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Okay, so you are traversing the building as you go. Now, the halls are narrow enough, or rather are wide enough that Mercy can walk next to probably. AK, you're going to have to explain that to the audience, Doom Sword, if people could come back next week who missed this week.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably put it out fully, but I had to change it because he wants a new name.
That's fine. Well, probably, and Mercy can walk shoulder to shoulder because of Probably's smaller power armor. So what is your marching order as you're going down the hall, please?
I think Rex always goes first.
Yeah, Rex first in this case.
Yeah. Rex
we
will
got
go
room.
first.
If we got room numbers, aka probably. And I will go next to each other.
Hey, stop dead naming me.
Okay. You want the right side or the left side, dude?
Hey, it don't matter. I'll follow right behind Rex.
All right. You're probably right-handed, so you go right and I go left.
I'm probably something.
Probably. I mean, you're probably sane.
Yeah.
That much is for sure.
It's tattooed right there on your head. All right. Half a moment, please. My apologies.
No problem.
Okay. Stepping out of a chamber, perhaps 10 meters down. It's between you and actually the walkway you're looking out to go and take the flights of stairs down. You see a group of 4 arcs.
Arcs?
Arcs are intelligent dog men. They are just short of 3 meters tall. And they, that they have mental powers and other other abilities. So
Yeah, I
flipped on
seem
my
to remember
energy cloak.
encountering.
My
I seem
energy
to
cloak.
remember. Oh, sorry.
No.
Did
go
we
ahead.
encounter them like several months ago or something?
yeah, the only person alive to have encountered them was what was you numbers.
Right. And I can't for the life of me remember how that went. Stay on the alert.
I'm powering up my energy cloak just to be on the safe side.
Okay. Does anyone say anything to them?
I'll speak out if Rex don't.
Well, if you know them, you may speak out before Rex does. But Rex would greet them
All
if
right.
they
Well,
don't look hostile.
yeah. Why don't you go ahead and greet them, and if I feel like I need to step in, I will.
All right. So they don't look hostile right away, right?
No, they actually they're looking at you kind of expectantly. They have clubs, wood and metal clubs, and they sort of growl and bark when they see you. Rawr.
That doesn't sound friendly. But if they've already seen us, then Rex will say to them, "Hello, how are you today?"
Yipping and barking kind of voice. One of them steps forward and says, "Hello, how are you?"
Well, we are quite good. We are just here visiting what we believe is the magic kingdom of the ancients. Do you live here?
They sort of look back and forth. We are not far from here. We come here to hunt. You are human inside that armor.
Yes, I am. What exactly do you guys hunt?
Mostly food.
Rex, do you not know the art? I got a long history with these guys. They might not remember me, being that it was another clan and all. What's up? How's it going, guys?
The first one sort of sniffs the air and says, "It goes well. It goes well."
It goes well enough for us too. You know, could always be better. Another pay in paradise, as they say. That we mean you no harm.
Yes, sir. You're, do you wish to trade? You could see us much hunting.
Probably. I like arcs a lot more than I like ads.
They sort of barking, growling, laughing amongst themselves. And one of them, you know what, let me see. I'll give him roll a d6 for me, if you would, please, Mercy.
Sure.
Because you weren't surprised. Ooh, that's going to be tough to beat. Yeah, this one is like, there was a third smaller one with you. Where did it go?
He's back at our transportation.
No, that one. Is that one for trade? He's pointing at Mercy.
What do you got?
No, sorry, she's pretty essential. And then Rex just looks at numbers with his hands out, like, what?
Well, come on. I mean, what if like what if they gave you something that could fix this whole world? Would you take the trade?
I walk over to numbers and I whack him on the head. What are you thinking, dude? What are you thinking?
Hey, listen, it's just part of
Walk
the
back-
game. Most of the time, I
Walk
don't
next
think.
to Rex and glare at him like, really? Really? We're going to have a discussion later.
Okay, they they nod their heads and sort of growl amongst themselves. Oh, we understand. You might wish to eat that one yourself. Understandable. Otherwise, we have nothing to trade. We will hunt others.
I give him an RBF.
Give them an Arby's what?
RBF, resting bitch face.
An Arby's beef sandwich or whatever.
Well, unfortunately, I guess we don't have anything to trade with you then.
They don't seem too disappointed by it. They just kind of make some polite conversation with you and keeping their heads ducked so they don't constantly bonk in the remains of the drop ceiling above them. They kind of squeeze past you and sort of glare a little bit at Mercy and move on down the hall.
Back. I am completely glaring back.
All right. Yeah.
I'm pointing at my eyes and I'm pointing at theirs and I'm like, I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
So yeah, numbers. You're fully aware that that arcs consider human hands a delicacy.
Right.
So they move on, and you come out onto the walkway, and there's the it's basically you go down a flight of stairs. There's another large platform. You go down another flight of stairs. There's another large platform, and then you go down another flight of stairs.
And that's the landing.
I guess.
Well, it looks like you made it, Rex. See what you're looking for.
Tight squeeze. So we're by the transportation device of the ancients?
I mean, are you're walking down there, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow Rex.
Okay, Rex, you start down the first set of stairs, and you can tell by the sound of your power armor feet stepping as you walk. These are metal stairs, and they do flex under the weight of your power armor. So you've made it to the first landing. The road of the ancients that goes through here is 20 meters below you.
Rex, do you maybe want to float down instead of stepping on these things?
All right. So
this
he'll.
stuff is old.
So you going alone?
No, we're gonna go with them, but we're gonna walk.
Yeah, I'll
It's
meet
just
you.
he's gonna glide through.
I'll meet you down there.
Okay.
It always makes me feel
Alright.
like this company didn't use very quality parts.
Well, I mean, how old is this stuff?
Well, I suppose. So Rex will kind of hover a bit and land down there near the bottom of the stairs and wait for the others.
Okay, the rest of you walk down the stairs, and by the way, it's been a couple of hours, so mark that off your suit power usage, both of you guys. You arrive at the landing, and as I said, there are these kind of conjoined looking elongate vehicle sort of assembly on this rail. Around you, sort of poking up through the greenery and the grass, you've got what look like small structures. You can just make out odds and ends within them. They appear to have had glass windows, but those are all gone. Into one of those shops or into the elongated vehicle?
I think Rick's going to check out a shop.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, let's do the shops first and then look at the vehicle in case the vehicle is operational.
Okay. So looking in the remains of the shops, there are little broken bits of ancient material, brightly colored, sort of sun bleached. You find a few intact ones that don't crumble away when you touch them. That are they are similarly shaped to the design you saw on the tunic up in the room up above you.
So it's like a theme.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So there were none left over? They all broke apart? All the clothes?
No, they're the clothes. Yes, the clothes.
Okay.
Some of the baubles seem to be intact. In fact, well, let me see here. I'll give a
Oh, are we going to get a bobblehead? That would be awesome.
bauble, B-A-U-B-L-E. Not to be confused with bubble, which would be bubble head, like someone who confuses
A
bauble.
bubble car that has a bobblehead? I mean, why not?
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't really find any of the knickknacks that are still whole and aren't broken. Right. There is, however, on a counter in this room, what looks like a computer terminal of the ancients.
Oh, Rex,
Ooh.
here you go. Here you go.
All right.
Do your
Certainly,
thing.
nothing bad can happen in an ancient magical kingdom. So Rex is going to try to boot this thing up.
All right, give me a D10 roll.
Oh, God.
I look over his shoulder just because.
No idea.
I'm going to point to that one. Are you sure you don't want to press that button?
He will then press the button that Mercy points to.
Give me another D10 roll. Slightly less happens than happened before.
I
Okay.
wave numbers over. Can you help here, dude?
Rex is going to say, wait. I remember Steve said there was a way to get these machines of the ancient to work. And then he's going to gently tap it on the side.
Okay. There is a smaller screen here. It's perhaps that big. And it sort of fitfully flickers to life.
See?
All right, go for it.
So is there any like menu options or?
It's, well, let me see. I said it flickers to life. Let me see here. First. Okay, this thing is in pretty terrible condition.
Be gentle. Be gentle. Don't press it too hard. You know what happened last time.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you can see sort of a faint greenish white glow from the screen. I just need to double check real quick. 40. Yeah, but there's a pop and a little wisp of smoke comes out of this thing.
Ah, shoot.
Ah,
Blow it.
Green goes black.
its spirit left.
Yeah.
If only we had Do-Re-Mi. That's okay. We'll find another one.
Yeah, we're stuck with Rex for now.
All right, guys.
Well, he does have the power suit working, so there's something there.
But yeah, he needs to do something with it.
So Rex will kind of, with shoulders slumped, leave the store and go to the vehicle of the ancients.
Okay. So the vehicle of the ancients is first of all, the windows are all occluded. They're all sort of the smoky dark color, so you can't really see what's in it, but there's obviously what appears to be a sliding door on it.
Rex will attempt to open the sliding door without breaking it, if possible.
Just do it, dude. Just do it. There's no attempt. There is a do or
Rip
don't
it
do.
open, man.
Well, he's opening it. The question is, does the door remain intact?
Who cares?
Hang on 1 second. Give me a D6 roll on that, if you would, please, Rex Dashington. Rexington. Oh, yeah. You fit your armored gauntlets in there a little bit, and it just slides open with a hiss.
He tapped
again,
it a couple of times with his fist and just did the Fonzie thing.
Okay. Roll that. Yeah, Rex, when you do that, there is a slight ding. Lights flicker to illuminate the inside of this thing. There are bones. There are lots and lots and lots of human bones in here. There are the remains of clothes. There are various bits and pieces of packaging. A cheery voice announces, "Por favor, mantengan diajarlos de las puertas." Sorry, I murdered the Spanish language, but yeah, this is there's bones. And something else you notice is that there are deep, deep, deep scratches on the walls here all over the place.
So I'm not getting any radiation though, right?
No, you are not.
Okay.
I think they were trapped and they starved.
He'll say, "Come on in, guys. Check this out."
I'll go in,
All right.
but I'll be looking for any kind of threats.
There was a voice that told me something, but it was in a language I don't understand.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like you need to be checked out by a med bot.
Okay.
I'll remember that when we get back.
He gets a tattoo too.
No habla español.
So,
The end.
there's a like I said, there's light in here. There's all these bones, remains of clothes, and that sort of thing. It's kind of a grim scene. Ahead of this cart is this elongate box that you're in is another, and that's the one that has the kind of tapering end on it.
As we pass these corpses, I'm going to assess them to see if I can determine what they died from, if I can.
They are bones. They are not corpses.
Well, I mean, they're intact though. They're like structurally sound, like they weren't, ripped apart or anything.
I mean, you don't see anything. Actually, you know what? Let me see here.
I mean, for all I know, they could have gone cannibalistic at the end there, but
Yeah, no, I mean, certainly bones would have crumbled apart. Maybe a small predator got in here and gnawed on them, but so
for the most part, they like died and decomposed the way they died, basically.
maybe it's been hundreds and hundreds of years.
Oh, yeah,
Your thing is fixing the living, not forensically analyzing the dead. So yes, there's another cart ahead of you.
So yeah, Rex, after getting a little depressed in all the bones, will start to head towards the taper.
Okay. So this cart is actually empty. There is a seat, a high-backed seat in the conical end of this thing, and there are what appear to be various controls and whatnot. There is a T-shaped handle that is pulled all the way back. There is a square button, perhaps 2 inches square. Excuse me, perhaps 50 millimeters square. It is flashing, just sort of blinking on and off. And it says emergency door release.
Rex will turn to numbers and say, all right, probably you're up.
I'll look around to see if there's any first aid boxes or anything like that in either compartment and determine if we have any viable med kits.
No, there are not. There is in the previous compartment. There's a square white box attached to the wall that may have been where one was stored, but there's not one in there now. So the controls here seem fairly rudimentary. If you want to give me a D10 roll there, numbers. Well, tell me what you're trying to do. Numbers probably.
Right. So I'm gonna So remind me exactly how it looks again.
There's a T-shaped handle that is
right.
pulled back. There's a couple of buttons. There is there's a strange looking device that looks like a handle of some kind. It's got 2 bulbous ends and a narrow section that connects it. It is of a shiny black material, and there is a coiled, flexible black material that goes from one end of it into the console. Other than that,
right. So the T-shaped handle I can push up.
Yes.
Okay. I'll push that up and then press the button on the left and the button on the right.
Okay. You push the button on the left, all the lights turn out. You push the button on the right, and a voice, a very pleasant male voice from every direction says, "We remind passengers to please keep hands and feet away from the doors at all times. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas."
Nice.
And you push the you push the handle forward. The entire object that you're in lurches, and you can hear a grinding sound and a ripping and tearing sound as vines and branches and roots that have overgrown it are snapped and so on, and it begins to speed up and move towards the bright opening in front of you. And that is where we're going to leave it, boys and girls. What did numbers probably sane Rab just do? What will the adventurers discover inside the magical kingdom? Will they sell Mercy to the to the Ark as girl jerky? Find out next Friday. I'd like to thank all of our players who played Gamma World tonight. Sorry to our audience for the slightly delayed start. This happens sometimes because this is
sorry for being late.
Actual role-playing game. Yes, exactly, Jorge. Por favor, manganese, apple jelly, Puerto Rico to you too, my friend. Anyway. As always, I appreciate it to my players, my audience. We'll be back on Monday. I will actually be on a live stream. I will give you guys more deets on that over the Discord and social media. But I will be live streaming on Sunday on. Hang on a second. I will give the information here too. Carl Makes Stuff. I will be on his. I will be on his YouTube channel, and here's a link to the actual episode.
Cool.
That's right, left hand. Nobody can murder a language like me, and I do that. I do it mercilessly. So go check that out. The link is there in the chat. I will link it up on social media all tomorrow and so on, and I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what I make that Carl wants to know about, but we're going to find out. Nonsense, I would guess. So thank you for the super. Thank you for the super sticker. I love all you guys, and we'll see you all again on Monday. And please, I am begging and pleading with all of you, if you would be ever so kind. Keep your eyes out, and do let me know. If you have, in fact, seen my owl bear. Good night.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.